So what happens when that dream, the one you chase halfway across the world, turns out to be, well, not what you thought? Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really raw story from an immigrant in Europe that kind of flips the whole idea of the European dream on its head. We're going to look at the opportunities he found, sure, but also the challenges he never saw coming, and here's the kicker, a surprisingly tough critique of his own community. It all boils down to this one huge question. Is that dream, the one of safety, opportunity, a place to belong, is it still actually alive? Let's get into it. All right, so to really get this, we have to start at the beginning. We need to understand what was left behind. The speaker paints this incredible picture, this tale of two cities, his quiet new life in Lisbon versus the absolute vibrant chaos of his home, Karachi. And man, is it a clash of energies. He describes Karachi as this happy chaos that just buzzes until 5 in the morning. You've got tea stalls open, streets packed with people, and then you have Lisbon. Everything just shuts down. It's quiet. It's orderly after 7 p.m. We're talking about two completely different heartbeats, two totally different ways of living. And you can just feel the nostalgia, right? Especially when he talks about the food. He says after all this time, the taste of home is somehow even better than he remembered. That's a powerful thing, isn't it? That kind of sensory memory that just keeps pulling you back to the life you left. So you gotta ask, right? If home is so amazing, why leave in the first place? And maybe more importantly, in a world where it feels like borders are getting tighter every day, how are people still managing to make this journey legally? Well, this is where the speaker wants to set the record straight. He's really quick to push back on this idea that all the doors are slammed shut. He's like, no, listen, despite what you might hear, there are still legal ways into countries like Portugal. The doors are still open, but you gotta follow the rules. And he's not just talking in generalities. He actually points to specific visa articles that are still on the books. You've got options for people with passive income, for entrepreneurs, digital nomads. The main thing to get here is that these legal routes, they're still very much a thing. So he breaks down the process, and it sounds pretty straightforward, right? You arrive on a tourist visa, you find a real reason to be there, like a job or you enroll in school, and then you apply to make it official, to get a residence permit. It's a system that's worked for a lot of people. But, and this is a big but, the ground is definitely starting to shift. See, even for the people who do everything by the book, the whole vibe is changing. That welcoming feeling, yeah, it's starting to fade. And he gives this really stark warning. He's saying, look, yeah, the legal paths are there, but that feeling of openness is just gone. And he doesn't think it's just Portugal. He sees it happening all over the West. A clear, unmistakable shift towards getting much, much stricter. And he's talking about things that used to be totally unthinkable in Portugal. You've got police checking IDs in train stations after 7 p.m., on-the-spot detentions, deportations. I mean, for a country that was known for being so relaxed, this is a massive change. So the big question is, why? What is going on here? Why is this country, this place that was seen as a haven, suddenly tightening the screws? And his answer, well, it's probably not what you're expecting. And this is where the whole thing takes a really tough turn. Because instead of pointing the finger at the host country, he turns the mirror around and points it directly at his own immigrant community. It's an incredibly blunt thing to say. He doesn't pull any punches. He just comes right out and says, this is happening because of us. He's convinced that the bad behavior of a few people is making life harder for everybody. That's a heavy, heavy thing to say, putting the blame right on their own community. And he gets specific. He talks about things he's seen with his own eyes that he thinks are just poisoning the well. Fights breaking out in public, people begging on the streets, sleeping on the roadsides. He's saying, look, this stuff creates a terrible impression, and it ends up hurting all of us. And he's quick to point out this isn't just a Europe problem. He says he's seen similar things in other places too, like these organized begging rings in Saudi Arabia. So for him, it's a pattern of behavior that he thinks is doing real damage to his community's reputation, no matter where they are in the world. So all of this, it brings the whole story full circle. It forces him, and you have to imagine a lot of others, to ask some really hard questions about why they even made this journey to begin with. On the one hand, you have the dream, right? Financial success, a nice orderly life, but then there's the reality he's actually living. Constant social friction, this feeling of not being welcome, and on top of all that, this powerful, nagging nostalgia for the home he left behind. And his final thought is, wow, pretty powerful. He says people in Europe think they're happy, but when he went back home to Karachi, that's where he saw real happiness, in the simple, sometimes chaotic lives of his friends. He's basically saying that joy feels more genuine, more real than the kind of structured success everyone is chasing in Europe. And that leaves us right back where we started. But now the question feels so much heavier. If chasing a better life means you lose your sense of community, your sense of belonging, then what does a better life even mean? It's a huge question, and there are definitely no easy answers.